Here's a similar problem to the last one, but now we know something different in this problem. We're not looking for the heat. We know the heat. This time we're looking for the final temperature. So it's the same equation. The heat Q is equal to mass times specific heat times delta T. So in order to find the final temperature, what I'm going to do first is get the change in temperature, just get delta T by itself. So if I leave the delta T over on the right side of the equation, I have to bring the M and the C over to the left, and in order to do that I need to divide both sides by M and C. So now it's a matter of plugging in the right numbers. The Q is the heat. And at first glance you might think Q is 300 joules, and that's almost correct, but the key word here is it's losing 300 joules. So if something is losing heat, that means heat is being released, that means it's exothermic, and that means Q, remember, has to be a negative number. So the Q is not 300 joules, it's negative 300 joules. The mass is given as 185 grams. And the heat capacity C you can find in a table in the textbook. This is not something you have to look up. And lead is 0.128. And that's joules per gram per degree Celsius. So if you check your units, joules cancel, grams cancel. We're left with no units in the top of the fraction and 1 over degrees Celsius in the bottom of the fraction. So this will give us degrees Celsius. And if you calculate this, notice the negative sign means we're going to get a negative 12.67 as our final answer. Final answer in this part of the equation. But the question was asking, what is the final temperature of the lead? This was delta T, which is equal to T final minus T initial, and the initial temperature was given as 80 degrees. So we plug in 80 degrees Celsius for the initial. Now we solve for the final temperature. And if you add 80 to both sides, you get a final temperature of 67.3 degrees Celsius. You should always think about a question like this. If we have some lead at 80 degrees and it loses heat, the temperature cannot go up. So if you made a math mistake and you added 80 and 12 and you got 92 degrees, that's a higher final temperature. We knew it was exothermic. We knew the temperature had to go down.